something I made and hand painted in my garage is laying in someone's house. There's a business in making money off of small businesses. It's the hardest part of it. Nobody prepared me for that.
Welcome to Built from Scratch, where we talk to small business owners about how they built their brand.
Hi, my name is Hannah Jackson, and I am the creator of Acquired Taste. I handcraft unique and nostalgic incense holders, as well as curate some amazing incense scents.
Hi, everyone. Today we're here with Hannah from Acquired Taste.
Hi.
Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your business?
My name is Hannah Jackson. I'm the founder and creator of Acquired Taste. I handcraft incense holders in unique shapes and sizes, and I curate some really awesome incense. I've been in business for about 2.5 years, and it's been quite a ride, yeah.
What inspired you to start this business?
Like, that I get that question and I have to learn how to shorten it. But ultimately, it was a promise to myself to see something all the way through. I had picked up and stopped a lot of creative stuff. And I think it was that coupled with being at a job that I really was unhappy with and really needing to find a creative outlet for myself that I really started thinking about what I wanted to do, what I wanted to make, and how it affected me on a daily basis and what I gravitate towards. Incense holders came about, and yeah, we've been doing it ever since. And now I have a problem. Everything's an incense holder.
What were you doing before this?
I was in staffing. Before that was in fashion, and before that a lot of other stuff, but ultimately in Austin, I spent most of my time in staffing, whether that was recruiting or on the sales aspect of it, but in the administrative, supportive, operational aspect of it.
Take us back to the beginning, that transition for you from staffing, how you went about starting your business.
So it all started with a lot of research after kind of doing a little bit of some self-reflection of, again, what do I want to do? Also being realistic with what I'm good at, because I always make a joke of like, I can't even paint a stick figure. What the heck am I going to make? I came up with some ideas, ordered some supplies, and I put my head down in the garage for a good 3-4 months, just trying anything and everything, and came to the conclusion of all the holders that I have now. So really just experimenting and then just executing.
Did you get any market research before starting on like different types of holders?
Yeah, so I think I took me launching as my market research. I put out what I wanted to create, what I thought was a good idea, and saw how people gravitated or not gravitate towards it. And I did all of that through vendor markets. So popping up at my local fairs that were happening, vendor fairs, retail fairs, and then just kind of pivoting and looking at how people were reacting to my pieces, seeing what worked and what didn't, and then going, okay, we're not going to make that anymore because it's clearly not resonating with people. And then that's it.
Did you start with doing both vendor markets and online?
I had an online shop, but nothing was happening. Again, I did most of everything was through vendor markets and doing pop-ups in person. That's how I really gained my traction.
What advice would you give to someone who's looking into trying out a vendor market?
Definitely look around, pay attention to what type of venues that they're going to be at. Is this a venue where people are there, or is this an event where people come to shop? I think there's a big difference, and I tend to see more success when it's markets where people are going to go shopping, whether that's 2-day fairs or 1-day fairs, but it's typically art oriented. I think that's going to be the most important part, but ultimately trying everything, because you get to then be around different walks of life, different demographics, and you can really see where your niche and where your customers are. Just try them all. That's what I say. That's what I did for the first year.
I did see you're in Urban Outfitters.
Yes.
How did that opportunity come about?
Oh man, I wish I could say like I knew what, but ultimately somebody reached out to me. It's an exclusive invitation only partnership that they offer. This young lady emailed me saying that she really liked my stuff. I had a call. They told me what it would take to be on their website, and I was like, hell yeah. But I think ultimately what got me on the website was really making sure that I had a presence online and I was searchable, because that's ultimately, she went online to search and she found me through a directory.
You mentioned getting found online.
Mm-hmm.
How did you go about making yourself known, marketing, SEO?
So definitely SEO, finding out what your keywords are for your industry. Also, what I've had a lot of success with is backlinks, which I'm learning that a lot of people aren't too familiar with that. And ultimately, you get backlinks through blogs, through having another website mention your website. Is ultimately what a backlink is. One of the first few things I did when I launched was put myself in a bunch of local directories, as well as create classified free ads on local websites just to have a backlink out there. Shout out to Do512 because I believe that is how she found me, and how a lot of people have actually found me is through their directory. It's really appreciative when you have platforms that create databases for small local businesses.
What was the most difficult thing you found about the marketing aspect?
I'm still navigating marketing. What I'm learning currently is that if you're going to insist on doing it your way, it's going to take time. Right now, I'm trying to prove a point to myself, as well as the possibility that marketing could look very different and very intentional. A lot of the times people are telling you need to tell them what they're missing and what you can solve for them. And that's not how I like to view my product. I'm not here to tell you what you need, but I'm here to show you something that you want. Needs have an expiration date. A want is a desire, it's a choice. So I rather try to market that way than from a scarcity standpoint.
So in this age of influencers and social media, have you taken advantage of that?
Still navigating that. I right now have an ambassador program. I have these 3 young ladies that are awesome. One's a writer, one's an artist, a painter. The other one is a therapist. It's been really cool. The exchange is free products for some content that is really low ball once a month. And it's been really helpful because I think every business owner can say creating the content is the hardest. It's the hardest part of it. So if I can give you something for free and you make it for me, then that's a win-win for both of us. And yeah, I haven't navigated like paid influencers. Hopefully soon, maybe not. Open to all of it. But right now, just experimenting with what in-kind marketing sponsorship looks like and what I can gain from that.
So with marketing and starting a business, there is a financial aspect to it. What was something you didn't expect? What were the startup costs for your business?
What I didn't expect that it would take this long to kind of pay myself. And it's something that I'm still navigating. It's funny is I'm doing my books now to figure out what all my numbers are. Definitely still at a loss. And all my startup costs were self-funded. I did this while having a 9-to-5 and managing both. So I was very privileged to be able to say, hey, I'm going to put this much money towards it. And then as soon as I started doing vendor markets, the money I was making there and the money I'm still making now goes immediately back to my business. I am not at a place where I'm pocketing any of it. I am pouring it all right back into it. What I'm learning unexpectedly is how much little costs add up. And honestly, there's a business in making money off of small businesses. And I think nobody prepared me for that, of people saying, oh, if you pay me this, I can do this for you. And it's like everybody wants you to pay them. And you're still trying to figure out like, how is this going to thrive and survive? So yeah, nobody warns you about that part of the business, is people coming to you with their businesses.
What keeps you motivated?
My bills. My bills. But ultimately, it's the fact that I'm getting to, in real time, put my ideas out into the world, into the universe, and seeing how they resonate with people. I think that's really cool and very much of a privilege to spend my time creating things and figuring out how to bring them to life. The special part is it resonating with other people. They bring me into their home. Like something I made and hand painted in my garage is laying in someone's house and they look at it and they use it all the time. I think that's just really cool.
If you were to give any advice to someone who is sitting on an idea, but they're afraid to start or they're afraid of losing that stability of a job, what would you say?
Definitely keep the job for as long as possible. If you can manage both, that is such a privilege within a privilege. It takes away a lot of the scarcity decisions that will come up if you don't have that backbone. Nothing beats a stable paycheck, and it's a short-term sacrifice for a long-term goal. And then just start it. Start it, or even if you're afraid to physically start it, write it all down exactly as if in a perfect world as how it could be. And you're going to ask yourself all these questions, which are going to end up being solutions to problems that as a small business owner you face. So maybe if you write it all down and entertain all those thoughts, the good and the bad, and you see how you figured it all out, you'll bring it into fruition in real life. But if you can, just start doing it and then pivot along the way. You'll be happy that you just started.
Yeah, I feel like most of the time you learn as you go. You can't really be prepared
Yes.
from the beginning.
Absolutely. I think it's like having a kid, like a dog. Like there's so many different experiences that we have that translate into all different facets of our life, whether that's love, business, career, education. It can still be applied and look the same way as to how to process.
Thank you so much
Yeah,
for
thank you.
joining us today.
You can find me available online on my website at acquiredtaste.me, as well as online at Urban Outfitters.